Destination Mark.
Hey guys, how's it going? Mark still here. Happy February. We're in a new month now, so of course you can expect some new stuff on the channel. But before all that, let's talk about this announcement. So on Twitter, I said this was a big announcement, and it kind of is, but it's much more of a cool announcement. It can provide hopefully some an opportunity for us to potentially learn some new things. About what? We'll get into that. So first, the announcement. I've been invited to go to GDC 2017 in San Francisco from March 1st to the 3rd. So that's really cool. Now at GDC, there's supposed to be this animation boot camp panel discussion, and someone who's supposed to be part of that, and hopefully he also, before and after this panel, just roams around the area, around the convention. One of the guys who's supposed to be attending this panel is John Paul Reinmiller. If you don't know who that is, he is the lead cinematics animator at Vicarious Visions, working right now on Crash Insane Trilogy. So, I want to fucking meet him. Hopefully I can meet this guy, hopefully talk with him, possibly get to interview him. So, that's why I've been asking on Twitter kind of vaguely about like, oh, if you could talk to someone from Vicarious Visions about animation for Crash, what would you ask? So not only am I trying to come up with my own questions, but I want to get you guys to be able to ask some questions as well. Now, this is all a big if. If I get the chance to, see him, I want to see if we can do this. So it's not so much of a definite, but there's a lot of factors into it. Like hopefully he's there, before / after this panel discussion. Hopefully he goes like at all 3 days, if not like at least one day. That is all about like when we get there. If it's like say day one that he's there, so scheduling, time, where we're all going. So hopefully we can set that up. Hopefully, we can find out a little bit more about what's been going into the cutscenes and all that stuff. So, from what I've seen for the speakers and everyone who's going to be there, it's really just him from Vicarious Visions. But there's also going to be some Naughty Dog people, not Neil Druckmann or Bruce Straley or anyone like that, but some other guys who are animators and who just, what else do they do? There's a bunch of guys, so they all have different titles. I'm not remembering all of them, but there are a few animators from Naughty Dog who's going to be there, and Insomniac. I even saw I think on the show floor, on the expo floor, I think that Nintendo might have some kiosks there, so maybe they'll even have the Switch there. I don't know. Oculus, people from Oculus, not Jason Rubin unfortunately, but people from Oculus are going to be there. So it's going to be really cool. GDC is not so much of like a convention in terms of like ZapCon, Comic-Con, so it's not so much of like the hey, meet all the crazy, like it's not so much like that. It's a more professional game developer industry attitude that they have going on there. So it does give us a chance to meet some new people who are working on their own indie titles, seeing as we have game projects of our own that we're trying to work on. So this will help us to learn more about how to go about making our games and the mindsets we should go into while making our games, and just tidbits and stuff from professionals themselves in the industry, and that's a really cool opportunity. So I didn't want to pass it up, especially knowing that this guy from Vicarious Visions is going to be there. So hopefully I get to interview him. Hopefully at the very least I would like to meet him / get a picture with him. At the very most, hopefully if all the freaking stars align and everything, I get to interview him. So look for that at some point, early-ish March. I think it's going to be really cool. I think it'll be like a really cool opportunity to learn more about. I'll get to meet someone from Vicarious Visions, someone who's directly working on these games, on this trilogy, and just get to pick their mind and see like, where they're coming from with this. I mean, if you saw that interview with Dan and Kara for the Game Informer show, it's really cool to really listen to how they're going about doing this trilogy. So to hear from the animation department now, I want to, because that was one thing that was really capturing our attention, was the animation and how it looked, how zany and wacky it looked, and the cinematics look freaking amazing. So yeah, that's the big announcement. I'm going to GDC. Hopefully I get to meet John Paul Reinmiller and interview him. And then that's why I was asking you guys for questions, because I want to try and get some of your guys' questions. So with that being said, now that it's been revealed why I've been asking you, what kinds of questions would you ask someone who animates at Vicarious Visions. Now that you know who it is and all that, you can look him up. He's on the site, and you can also just look up some info. He has his own website and all that stuff. So I'll link whatever I can down below. Go ahead and ask some questions down below in the comments, on my Twitter. Just at me on Twitter and tell me, hey, this is a question for John Paul Reinmiller. And I've already gathered a few that were anonymous, that people didn't know who I was talking about, and I was being really vague. So I have a few of those questions already jotted down. I have some of my own as well. I'm not going to spend too long. I only have about 5 to 6 questions right now. So I'm only going to grab a handful. I'm not going to be able to get to everyone's question, but now that you know that it's animation for Crash Insane Trilogy, and it's this particular guy, with all that in mind, ask away in the comments on Twitter. I'll gather what I can, and we'll see if we can get this interview to happen. If it doesn't, don't be disappointed. I might be a little bit disappointed if I don't get to actually interview him. If I say I get to talk to him and then ask for an interview, but he doesn't have enough time, that can always happen. So I always have to factor in the lowest that can happen, being that he's too busy, or I don't even get to see him. Maybe I see him at the panel, but I don't get to see him afterwards or whatever. I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna try super hard. It's not just for me to get info on all this stuff, it's for all of us. So I'm going to try and do what I can over there. It's only the one guy, it's only him from Vicarious Visions representing. So I want to see what I can do, and let's see what we can do, so ask away. And that's about it. So yeah, what do you think about this? What questions do you have for me to ask them? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Marcelo, I will see you guys later. Get hyped, hopefully we can learn a bit more stuff about the animation department for this trilogy. That'll be awesome. I'm Marcelo, I'll see you guys later. Take care.